There's been a red card, but for who, Chris Kamara?
They can't. Gets a red card. It is a red card. That's not a red card.
And a red is a red card for Zidane.
4 lads, 1 red card.
What a great week of football we've had once again between the Champions League and the latest league matches. We've got again a lot to talk today. It's 4 lads, 1 red card. I'm joined by my 3 usual mates, Jotis, Darren and Alex. How it's going, lads?
Not very good.
Alex
Brilliant.
is not very good.
What a week of football.
Yeah, what a week of football.
Yeah, what a week of football. We're going to talk about a lot of subjects today. Before we begin, once again, please don't forget to follow us on social media, put a like, comment, and share our content on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and X. Guys, I guess we're ready, and we'll start, of course, with this most urgently awaited match of this season, the Clasico between Real Madrid and Barcelona at the Santiago Bernabeu. A well-earned 2-1 victory for Xabi Alonso's players, with goal from Mbappé, Fermin Lopez and Jude Bellingham. That was a highly charged match before kickoff and also at the end with some very tense exchanges between the two teams. But first, to get into the subject of this match, I would like to ask you what grade out of 10 you would give to this Clasico. So Darren, we'll begin with you. What is your grade for this match?
I would give 8 out of 10 to this El Clasico. I think it was a really, really good game. Score, we have talked previously, but just to let everybody know, the score does not reflect the game really good. Otherwise, I would give it a 10. But other than that, I think it was a really, really good El Clasico. Some good individual performances, some drama as well that we're gonna discuss. So yeah, I liked the El Clasico.
Okay, nice. Jotis, what's your grade?
I would give it a solid 8.5. It's not the most intense El Clásicos I've ever seen in my life, but it had everything that what we were looking for in an El Clásico. It had goals, it had drama, it had fights. So I would give it a solid 8.5.
Okay, nice. Alex, I don't know, are you a Barcelona fan or Real Madrid fan? I don't know because I see the jersey behind you, but what will be your grade for this match?
Okay, so in terms of football, I would give it a 7 out of 10. I mean, like the quality of the football that has been played. In terms of hype and rivalry, 10 out of 10. I don't think we've had in the recent years such a fierceful Clasico and such a match even before and even after. So it's a 7 out of 10 for football and 10 out of 10 for the tense and the drama, for the tension and the drama.
I like how enthusiastic Alex is still after that loss. So respect.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, what can we do? We are ready to smash you at the Camp Nou, hopefully, in May, when we are going to crown ourselves champions for the 2nd year in a row.
Wow.
Dream on, mate.
Yeah.
Dream on.
First, get the Camp Nou down, and then we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always the same. Like every week, it's tell that the Camp Nou is ready. The Barcelona can play in the Camp Nou, and then now.
I swear to God, I remember like 2 years ago, Laporta said that Camp Nou was gonna open in the beginning of the previous season, not even this season.
Yeah, he's a liar. I learned to not get excited by his words anymore.
Wise man.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, I want you to ask you what's your man of the match? So many names stand out, particularly on the Madrid side. Carreras did a great game. Kamavinga too. We can talk a bit about him. Mbappé, Vinicius, and of course Jude Bellingham. Alex, I'll begin with you. For you, who was the man of this Clasico yesterday?
It hurts me to say that, but one of the best players on that pitch was Szczesny, and not only because he saved Mbappe's penalty, but he had plenty of other saves during that game, and he kept that score low, even though Real Madrid had plenty of chances. He has been great for Barcelona every time he stepped onto the pitch, and I'm glad we signed him. He's the perfect player to have in the squad. It hurts me to say that Szczesny was the best player on the pitch, but we gotta give credit to Real Madrid when they play better. They didn't play magnificently, and they didn't destroy us like we destroyed them last season, but they were better. So yeah, Szczesny, the man of the match for me.
Szczesny, Joris, do you agree with that? Who is your man of the match?
I mean, Chesney is, of course, not my man of the match. Like, why would I give it to Chesney? Of course, he had a good game, but my man of the match would be Jude Bellingham. So, Alex, a couple of episodes ago, he said that Jude Bellingham is not a great player. He's not a great midfielder. He's not a
Nah,
world-class player.
I
I
And he
remember.
didn't
said,
say that,
he,
bro.
he
Okay,
said,
just
and I
continue.
quote, he said, and I quote, that his performance has been going up at
Yeah,
the first season, and then it went consistently bad, that he's not a world-class midfielder.
nah, you
So,
you added the last part for your own sake. I didn't say that he isn't world class anymore, but yeah,
okay, he said what he said was he's not on the same league as Pedri.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
you guys remember the first goal? He cooked Pedri to give that assist to Mbappe because that was a brilliant turn, and he gave that assist to Mbappe. Of course, it's one moment and it's one game, but Bellingham, he had a lot of criticism for the this season and the past season as well because he wasn't living up to the level that he had showed in the first season. So there was a lot of criticism for him coming into the game, and he, even though he scored against Juventus in Champions League, it was still not what was expected from him. And he put up a brilliant performance. He had the first asset. He scored the second goal. Overall, what a game! And Pedri is of course a world class player. So playing against him and cooking him at Bernabeu. So Bellingham is my man of the match.
Okay,
Bellingham has been amazing yesterday. Just to talk a bit about him, we saw this version of Jude Bellingham we used to see like 2 seasons ago. You remember especially during the first part of his first season at Real Madrid, he was everywhere on the pitch. Like, to be honest, at each situation for Real Madrid, Bellingham was inside in the axis, on the left side, on the right side, to defend, to attack. He was everywhere. And when you have for Real Madrid a player like Bellingham in 100% form, really impactful, really incisive, really aggressive, especially when you play against a team like FC Barcelona,
Yeah.
it's a real advantage, right, for Real Madrid to have a Bellingham in this form. You said he scored in Champions League. Now he scored yesterday a brilliant assist for Kylian Mbappe. Like, do you think Xabi Alonso can make him a better version of himself in the future? What do you think?
I think he can. I mean, we have discussed that in the previous season there has been some times that Bellingham lost his consistency in terms of performance, but he always step up in the big games, which shows that he has the potential. I mean, if he's fully concentrated and fully motivated, he can be a top player, he can be a top star. It's just that he needs to keep his consistency a little bit, just like in the first season. And I think Xabi Alonso can make that because I do believe Xabi Alonso has a good communication with the players. Of course, it's hard to manage so many stars in a single team. I mean, he has lots of players who wants to play as a starter, and he cannot start every player because some of them needs to sit on the bench. But I do believe that he can get the maximum out of Jude Bellingham this season.
Yeah, we remember also the first Clasico of Jude Bellingham. He scored twice, I think, if
twice.
I
Yeah.
do remember well. He offered the victory for Real Madrid and yesterday too. So it's really, really important for a player to be such incisive in those kind of games. Therein, is Jude Bellingham also your man of the match, or you want to talk about someone else? Tell us.
He had an amazing game. Also Chesney as well, but they are not my man of the match. Although Jude Bellingham was really, really amazing, and Chesney made really, really good saves, which kept the score sheet a little bit lower than expected. Because I do believe Real Madrid had around 4 expected goals in the statistics, but only 2 were scored. But I would not give a man of the match to a losing side's goalkeeper. Maybe if the game was a draw, I would give it to Chesney. But since Real Madrid won, I would like to give it to Mbappe because he really, really had a good game. There was one offside goal that he scored, and then there was the penalty position that was not allowed, and then there's the goal. He could have scored maybe even more goals. I really like his performance right now. He's going up and up. So man of the match for me is Kylian Mbappe on Real Madrid's side.
That's one.
Yeah, Kylian Mbappe, as like he did since the start of the season, was really impactful, scoring a nice goal. I want also to have a quick talk about Kamavinga because I know we all love that kind of player because he's really talented, very technical. Sometimes he's lacking some consistency on the pitch. And I think yesterday Xabi Alonso did a great job with Kamavinga because we saw during the first part of the game, the first half, that Kamavinga was really in his zone, in his position, and did the job perfectly. And at the end of the game, we saw him take more freedom on the pitch, try new things. And I think when you have Chouameni on the midfield, when you have Jude Bellingham, and when you have Kamavinga at this level, it can reach the expectations Real Madrid is lacking
Yeah.
since the departure of Toni Kroos, for example. And that is maybe the most important objective of Xabi Alonso, is to rebuild a new midfield with good position. We talked also about Arda Güler, who is a really talented and very good since the start of this season. And when you have Kamavinga at this level, I think it can make the difference. And we saw yesterday that he was everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool to see Kamavinga playing like that. Guys, do you think that Kamavinga can still impose himself in this starting 11 with Xabi Alonso? What do you think about him?
I believe that he's an important player for the system, an important player to have in the squad. It's crazy that at one point in the game, I think he was even playing as a right winger yesterday in the Clasico.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has this versatility in him, and this makes him a very good player, a very good player to have in the squad, because, when you have to make adjustments, you can always rely on him because he can play multiple positions. So I think that Xabi Alonso really admires his versatility, and this is what an argument that could make him become a starter at Real Madrid. He even played as a left back with Ancelotti. He can cover multiple positions. So I think this is one of the reasons that he will get more minutes this season, because he can play multiple positions. And I think that Alonso is still experimenting with this Real Madrid side. He doesn't have yet like a pretty standard list of players that are always starting every game. He is experimenting, and it's very good that he does that, because he is trying to build like the proper perfect system and squad. And he seems to be on the great path.
Yeah, totally. I read Jotis, as a true Real Madrid fan, I want to ask you a question. Alex said that Xabi Alonso is still trying to find his team. He's testing position, testing players in different areas of the pitch. Do you feel more confident to have a strong 11 on the basis, or are you happy with this kind of managing way to have like each game the surprise of finding another player in another position? Like, what makes you more confident to have a strong 11, like always this kind of the same, or changes every time?
I'm fine with changes because, like Alex said, he has a good squad. He has a lot of players who haven't played at the highest level yet. I mean, they're starting with Real Madrid, and there's a lot of young talent. It's good that he's giving opportunity to all these talent, and he's open to seeing what everyone's like best position is, or what their strengths are, and how he can use all the players that he has in the best way possible. And talking about Kamavinga, it's the same. He's a big asset for the Real Madrid team. Would he start in his ideal position, that is midfield? Would he start in midfield for Real Madrid for most of the games? I doubt so. With the current squad, with the current talent that we have on with us, I doubt he'll start every game in the midfield, but he's a very versatile player. He could play in almost every position except goalkeeper. And if you want, you never know.
I don't think he ever played
You
center.
never know.
But he didn't start a game as a centre back, but he had covered that position in a game, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, he can literally play. Like Alex said, he was playing right wing. He was doing that skill on the right wing.
He sent a tweet after the game about it. New position.
Yeah, he did. So yeah, I mean, a player like that, Kamavinga's quality is always an asset, and he's a lovely character as well. He's a lovely character in the dressing room. He has a good personality. He's a good player, so he's definitely an asset for the team.
Just one more thing to add to this Real Madrid and Alonso trying to figure out the best 11. We all know that Real Madrid are coming back into this season on the back of a very poor last season, when the players seemed to perform average at best, no matter the opponent. It didn't matter the opponent, it didn't matter the form. It was always the same player. They were always the same players that were starting every game, and they costed Real Madrid in the league and in the Champions League. And this season has changed, and we've seen that with the intensity that Real Madrid put into the game, because they actually pressed Barcelona when they were trying to play out from the back. Mbappé and all the players, Real Madrid had like 5 or 6 players in the Barcelona part of the pitch trying to win the ball back, and we didn't see that last season with Ancelotti. Also, it was the Vinicius problem. He got very mad for being substituted, but this is why you need players that are playing for the team and not for themselves. Vinicius was thriving under Ancelotti because he was given the freedom, but right now, because he has a more strict coach that is open to ideas and experimenting, Vinicius may be in danger, and we saw that with his substitution.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this case just after. Before, I wanted to also talk about a subject. There was a highly anticipated duel in this match between Kylian Mbappé and Lamine Yamal, both of whom have been key players for their team so far this season. And in the end, it wasn't really a contest. Mbappé, as we said, was in top form. Once again scored against Barcelona. Do you know that Mbappé is the third top scorer against Barcelona in the 21st century? He
Crazy.
scored 16 goals against Barcelona in only 9 games. That's crazy. It's just behind Cristiano Ronaldo and Karim Benzema. So he likes to play against Barcelona, to be honest. So yeah, he was amazing. And like Lamine Yamal, who was completely invisible during the match after provoking Real Madrid in an interview, we saw that. Alex, I'm sure you have a lot to say about that. What happened to Yamal yesterday?
Okay, I'm not gonna defend Yamal and say that, oh, he's just 18. He should not go out in public and say that Real Madrid are cheating and are crying every single game. He's right. He's right. And
Here we
every
go.
football fan knows that he's right, but he can't say that in public as a professional football player for Football Club Barcelona. You can't say that in public because you are a public person and everything. He also had that injury. He's been having this injury all season. Pubalgia, I think it is.
Yeah,
And
yes.
it kept him like quiet. He didn't try any take-ons. He was scared to enter duels. He always packed backwards. You could tell just by looking at the way he moved on the pitch that he wasn't at 100%. And I think this is the main reason for which he didn't perform well yesterday. And also the tension that he created. He needs to be told that because he's the icon of this new generation of the new Barcelona, he really is the chosen one and he is already the best player in the world. He needs to correct his attitude and just play it more casual, you know. I like that he has attitude and ego, but he needs to play it a little bit more safe at some times because it would be greater for him and for his team as well.
I want to just say that, and this is maybe a hot take, but I think it was a huge mistake by Barcelona side to give an 18-year-old kid a 9 million euros per year contract. I think it was a big mistake. I mean, don't get me
Maybe.
wrong. He's a super talented player. I like the way he plays, and I think he's gonna be very successful in the future. He's already successful. He already won the Euros at 17. But when you give an 18-year-old kid 9 million euros per year, of course he's gonna start to become, I don't want to say like he turns his back on football, but of course he's gonna get humbled in every way, and of course he's gonna be partying a lot, like showing off and stuff like that, because he's not a person that comes from a rich family. I mean, we know that family was not doing very well before he became a football player. So if you give an 18-year-old kid 9 million euros, and if you don't get a life coach or someone to lead his communications and stuff like that, someone to give advices to him, and his father is definitely another figure for him to follow, because I think he's using too much social media, and that's also damaging his reputation as well. So when you put all this together, it becomes a little bit antipathic. Yeah, like all this stuff that he's doing, the fights and like the talks that he's giving in the social media, saying that Real Madrid are always stealing and crying, it's definitely not professional. And I think in order to secure the reputation of his career, in order to secure his future, he should definitely work with professionals and keep out of stuff like this and focus only in the inside of the pitch.
Yeah, but you know what's the matter? So of course you can't, like, you are giving him the money, but at the same time, if you are not giving him the money and you are not extending his contract, there were already rumors appearing that he has offers from Saudi Arabia. PSG are ready to put on like 300 million on the table for him. So it's a difficult situation for Barcelona as well. Everybody knows that he is the best player. you can't pay him like Lewandowski or Frankie de Jong, but at the same time, you cannot not raise his salary. So it's a very like fragile situation, you understand? Because if they didn't do anything with Yamal and they just let him play with the same contract he had and not give him a raise, the rumors would become bigger and bigger, and the rumors are going on. The player is going to be affected at it, and maybe his head would be more into the possibility of making like 5 times more money that Barcelona could offer him, because he could get like in contacts with those teams. So you understand me, it's a very difficult matter. The best case scenario, that player isn't Yamal, that player is somebody like Kubarsi, for example, that is very humble, he is very educated, he comes from a good family, he knows everything about life. I mean, not everything, but he knows how to treat life more calmly and more easily. But you don't get that with Yamal, you know, so it's a difficult matter for Barcelona.
I mean, I can't believe I'm not trying to defend this guy because I hate him, but I also respect him because of how good he is. But I like it. When I saw it and it was like last minute, like I didn't even hear about the whole thing until
Yeah,
like
it
half an
was
hour before
Friday.
kickoff. Yeah, yeah. It was half an hour before kickoff that I found out about, all his comments and his picture that he posted on his Instagram stories. And I kind of liked it. I mean, the thing is, we talk a lot about like football. Football is lacking, personalities. We don't have
Yeah.
characters now. And there's this 18-year-old kid, literally like taunting and teasing your rivals. I mean, I'm the rival, but it's drama. It brings drama to the game. There's more things. The stakes go higher for the game. Yesterday wasn't his night. It turned out badly for him. But imagine if it was the other way. Everyone would be praising this kid.
Yeah, true.
Everyone would be saying he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
He cooked him. Remember what happened with I think it was Noni Madueke when he called Wolverhampton a
Wolves.
shit town and
Yeah,
Wolves, yeah,
yeah.
Wolverhampton a shit town, and then went on to score a hat trick.
Yeah.
Everyone was praising the guy. So imagine if the night had turned out differently in favor for Barcelona, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Everyone would be talking about this guy as he's the best in the whole, maybe the ever. So I don't think it's such a big issue. Of course, I mean, as a like I know you shouldn't like as a professional, there are some things that you shouldn't be doing. But all these like Instagram stories and posting pictures, I think that's fine. I think that adds more drama to the fixture and to the rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can understand that. And talking about drama, one last topic we wanted to discuss about that game is the case of Vinicius Junior. The Brazilian played a very good game, perhaps one of his best so far this season, to be honest. But he did not appreciate being substituted by his manager, and made it clear, like you saw the images, that he can leave the club. He would leave the club if the current situation continued. Guys, I want to know, do you understand this frustration that Vinicius has been feeling for a bit of time right now? Darren, what do you think about that?
I mean, I do believe that Vinicius is an amazing player, but after the Ballon d'Or ceremony that Rodri won, I think it went not completely, but it slowly started to go downhill for Vinicius Junior. I mean, even though he stated that I will work harder to win Ballon d'Or in the future, his performance dropped last year. I mean, even this year, I remember we were talking about how all the players are always complimenting him, always supporting him, even when he doesn't score the goal, when he makes an assist, his teammates start to run to him to support him. And even though everyone in the team is trying to make these stuff for him, he can't just make this attitude to the coach after he makes a decision to sub him off. I mean, of course, I understand from a player point of view, he wants to complete the El Clásico because it's the biggest stage for a football player who plays in Real Madrid. He wants to finish the game. But if the coach makes that decision, you should respect him because it's his authority. Otherwise, if the players choose their own decisions, why do we have a coach? Why do we have a manager to make decisions? So I think that behavior was a bit disappointing for the Real Madrid fans and everyone who supports the club. But I don't think it's a huge issue. I heard that Xabi Alonso stated that it's normal in the post-game press conference. He said that it's normal. He's going to talk with Vinicius. I think Xabi Alonso is a really chill guy. He has a good relationship with players. He knows how to talk with them, how to create a good dialogue with them. So I think he's gonna have a talk with Vinicius and he's gonna calm down. Maybe he's already calmed down. We don't know, but I do believe that at the end of the season, if this stuff goes like this, maybe Vinicius can leave to Saudi or some other club because how old is he? If I'm not mistaken, he's around 28
25.
something.
Twen-
He's
25?
20.
No way.
Really?
2000.
Wow, we're the same age. I
Wow.
didn't know that.
We're the same age, exactly.
Mad.
I
So
thought he
he's
was
still
around
pretty young.
28.
No,
Okay,
he's
if he's
still
25,
really young, yeah.
yeah, if he's 25, he should definitely stay in Europe because he's one of the most talented players.
Of course.
I would be very sad to see him leave to Saudi or any non-European league.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to add one thing. Yeah, I kind of have the same opinion as Darren. Like, as a player, you should respect your manager's decision. But at the same time, he's not the first player to be frustrated for getting subbed off. There have been players who've done worse, who've done like kick the glass of the bench, for something subbing them off, or they've done worse things. But the problem with Vinicius is there's a consistent pattern in his attitude where he just complains and he just does all these antics. Like, and even as a Real Madrid fan, at some point you get really tired of this. I understand the frustration because he was having a good game, and he wants to get on the score sheet because it's an El Clásico. It's one of the biggest games in a season. But the way he expressed his frustration, he was talking a lot where he was coming off the pitch,
Yeah.
when he was walking down the tunnel. That for me was a bit too much. I mean, you have frustration, yes, I understand. You'll show it in some way, but the way he showed it yesterday, I think it was a bit much. So yeah, he needs to correct his attitude because all else he's not going to get a spot in this team because there are other people who just waiting for their chance and for the starting 11. So yeah, he needs to change something.
Alex,
Yo,
just
bro.
rather really, really quick. I'm sorry, I just want to add like something really, really quick. After he was subbed off and after the game, I think he came back from the dressing rooms
Yeah.
to confront Lamine Yamal, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that
yeah, he
was
did.
unnecessary. Like, you're off the game already. Why are you coming from the tunnel back to the pitch just to create a fight?
Yeah,
Because
that's
That was
that's
completely
Vinicius.
unnecessary. I mean, there's a saying in Turkey that we say coming to fire with a shovel. I don't know if I don't know if you guys have that in your country as well, but that's exactly what he did. I mean, people there should have maybe calmed Lamine and Carvajal down, but instead Vinicius just came down trying to escalate things even further. I think it was unnecessary. Go on,
Yeah.
Alex.
Now, I was just like trying to about this Vinicius situation. You know what's my viewpoint of Vinicius? So he's an amazing football player. He's very talented in terms of footballing ability. 10 out of 10, no question. Amazing dribble, but but there's a big. You guys were talking about how all the players are trying to make him feel amazing and try to create the perfect environment for Vinicius. Who does that in a football team? Who does that? You should not be like, you should not be responsible for that guy's mental health. He's a crybaby, and he's the biggest crybaby in football. And the difference between him and Yamal, he's 25, Yamal is 18, just turned 18, and Vinicius is 25, and he has been like this since he arrived at Real Madrid. He didn't change at all. And we've seen that in that Clasico. The moment, if I were Xabi Alonso, the moment I saw him saying, me voy del equipo, I'm going to leave the team, bro, you are going to be put on the transfer list as this moment you are saying that out loud with the cameras in public in 2025 when all the journalists and everybody are on your back like they are doing with Lamine Yamal. So you can't have a football team and create an environment that's specifically designed for the player because he has to feel great. We all have our problems. Life is hard for everybody. And you are earning 20 million per year to do what? To cry about football? Just play. Don't waste the time of everybody else,
That's true. Fair.
so. I just want to add one thing there. The problem with Vinicius is people forget how good of a player he is because of all these antics. Because he's on top list of strikers or forward players who have played for Real Madrid. But people forget that because of all his antics and all the things that he does.
And that's his problem.
I agree. But at the same time, as a team, it's the team's responsibility. If one of the players' morale is down or if their attitude is not right, it's team's responsibility to do that. Real Madrid is doing it in a way that's partially acceptable and needs improving. I mean, I talked about this before about Real Madrid lacking characters and leaders. If there was Sergio Ramos in the team, he wouldn't let this pass by. Like he would, or Roy Keane, for example, he wouldn't let this pass by. So that's one thing Real Madrid is missing. But at the same time, I can understand why they would celebrate with Vinicius because he wasn't having the best of the season so far. And we all know about all the off the pitch problems he had with Ballon d'Or and everything. But there still needs to be a better way for his teammates to be treating this attitude. But yeah, I agree. It was a bit extreme.
Yeah, yeah. Well, guys, it's time to move on. We're already more than the half of this podcast. So we are now going to talk about another subject, which is Premier League. We wanted to analyze a bit the English table. After 9 games, we may have it on the screen, but we know that Arsenal are top of the table and have pulled ahead this weekend with defeats for Manchester City and Liverpool. First question, Alex, do you think this Arsenal team is armed to finally win this title right now?
Yeah. I mean, you can't pick any other team in the league and expect Arsenal to not win the league. They are in a greater position that they ever been before. City have lost against Villa, Liverpool are not finding themselves, and Arsenal is playing like a team. Together as a team, they are playing amazing. So yeah, I think they are the favorites to win the league, and I think they are gonna win the league. And you know what? If they actually win the league, I'm gonna be feeling very good for Arteta and applause him because he's done an amazing job as the Arsenal coach. Remember the state in which the team were founding themselves back when he signed. They were like 10th in the league or something. So, and they were the memes of the Premier League, always using the derbies to Liverpool, conceding 4 or 5 goals every game. They are now one of the strongest defensive teams in Europe. So they are going to win the league. I think they are going to win the league, and if they do win it, they will be deserved champions.
Yeah, deserved champions. Okay, there are also a few surprises in the table that we can see. Notably, Bournemouth in 7th place, ahead of Tottenham, and above all, Sunderland. Darin, Jotis, you talked about these two teams at the start of this season. Do you think they can compete with the big Premier League teams until the end? Jotis talking about Sunderland, and then Darin, you'll talk about Bournemouth. Tell us.
I think they can because on the weekend we just saw Sunderland beating world champions. I mean, according to Chelsea fans, the world champions for another 4 years.
Red card champions.
Red card champions, yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, we saw Sunderland, beating Chelsea, which if you had told any football fan that would happen at the beginning of the season, no one would believe because I mean they scored at the 93rd minute. I think the winner came at 93rd minute. But it just shows it's been 10 games so far this season, if I'm not wrong.
Nine
And
games. So
9 games so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sunderland is at 4th. Again, this is too early. It might change, but the way it looks like they could well finish clearly above relegation zone and somewhere in mid-table, which is quite a surprise because they just got promoted, and
Yeah.
in the last 2 years, all the promoted teams have gone down, got relegated in the same season. So I think Sunderland can stay up and finish easily in the mid-table.
All right, interesting. Darin, we will have a sequence maybe next week talking about our predictions, but for now, you have a real amazing one. You talked about Bournemouth doing a great season. They're right now second in the table. What are your expectations for the future of this team?
I do believe that they made a really, really good job in the first 9 games, and I want to praise Semenyo. He's an amazing bowler. I had no idea who he was, but after watching him this season, in the first weeks of the season, I just added him to my watch list, and he's an amazing player. I'm not sure if they can hang on to this spot because it's kind of hard for mid-table teams or low-table teams to hang on to the upper parts of the table through the season. I mean, I'm sure that they're going to lose lots of points through the league, but I still support my idea that they're going to be in the top 7 when the league finishes. So we'll see how it goes in the future. But for now, they have a really, really good form graphic.
All right, interesting. Finally, we must also mention Manchester United, who secured the third consecutive Premier League victory with a 4-2 win over Brighton. The Red Devils are currently 6th in the table. Alex, is this finally Man United's return to the forefront of English football, or we don't have to be impatient? What do you think about this team?
I hope not. I hope they can stay shit forever. Yeah, I'm enjoying them being 10th, 9th. Nah, in my opinion, United fans are hyping their team a bit more than they should. Okay, they've won some games. I would understand them being happy for it because they haven't seen their team win 3 games in a row in like what 20 years. So yeah,
Yeah, your brother's a United fan, right?
yeah, my brother
Is
is a
that?
huge United fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always love to see him sad and depressed because of United, and I hope that continues. But
Game's
yeah,
back.
I think they're gonna make it to the top 6 this year and finish maybe 5th or something. I don't think they will make it to the Champions League.
All right, Jotis.
Yeah, just want to quickly add something about Arsenal there. Remember how Liverpool was trying so hard to win the league and Man City just kept, outperforming them every single season.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then one season, Man City was shit. Arsenal had the chance and then they bottled it. I think this is a season Arsenal must win the league. Their squad is better than ever. Everyone else has been shit. Like they're not being consistent. I mean, Liverpool is on a defeat streak,
Yeah.
and then Man City are not at their best, and then Chelsea is it's ninth. So Arsenal, this is the season for Arsenal. So they can't bottle it. This is probably the best chance they'll have in quite a while. So they need to win this.
So in the previous seasons, I've never blamed Arteta for not becoming champions because I have seen, all of us have seen where he brought Arsenal from. Arsenal were not even competing for being the champions of Premier League, even though their fans argued that they are competing to be champions. But Arteta took that team, he implemented a philosophy of football, and he learned that from Pep Guardiola. And if I'm not mistaken, he was one of his side coaches in the previous seasons.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
he
think
was
he
the
really did
assistant.
a good job to improve the Arsenal team and transform it. But this season, if he cannot win the championship title, he's gonna be blamed for sure because this is the season. This must be the season. I mean, look at this table right now. Man City and Liverpool, arguably the two of the most powerful teams in the Premier League, except for Arsenal. They are having a really, really bad season. Man City seems to be improving, even though they lost the last game. Liverpool is in a really, really bad situation right now. We can see their win graph. In their last 4 games, they lost all of them, not even a tie. So they're in a really bad form. And Arsenal, they are doing really, really good. I mean, we have seen in the Champions League, they completely destroyed Atletico Madrid, and we know that Simeone is
Yeah.
also a really, really good defensive coach. Atletico Madrid is not an easy team to score lots of goals, but Arsenal found their way to score lots of goals. So with this motivation and with this performance, I think they should be able to win the league this year. Otherwise, Arteta is going to get blamed this season for sure.
Do you guys
Alex,
know when was the last time Arsenal were in the title race before Arteta came in? That was
2000.
no. I mean in the title race, not winning the title,
I don't
competing
remember.
for the title.
Before 2015, for sure.
Yeah, so exactly, Jules. That was 2015-16, I think. It was the season Leicester won the
Yeah.
championship in England. The most
Really?
unfortunate, the most crazy event ever. Yeah. So imagine this season, Bournemouth does the Leicester and
Oh,
wins the league.
If this
imagine,
happens,
imagine.
man, if this happens, they're gonna lynch Arteta so bad. Like he's not gonna be able to get seen in London ever again. He's not gonna go out on public.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is
Or
true.
even worse, imagine Sunderland doing it.
Yeah.
My God, that can be crazy.
I'm
That
gonna
could
tell
be
you something
mad.
even worse. Imagine Tottenham doing that.
No, no
Oh.
way, no way.
It's a
I
London
stopped.
team. It's a London team.
Yeah.
If they do it, oh
True.
my god, they're gonna. If this happens, Arsenal fans are gonna just burn the stadium down for sure. There's gonna be
Yeah,
riots.
yeah, that
But
is
that's a
true.
good point, though. I didn't know. Like I didn't know
And-
Arsenal. That was the last time Arsenal competed.
Very good point, Alex. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're gonna see. Of course, Arsenal is kind of favorite right now, but I just saw just before to finish this Premier League sequence, I saw an interesting statistic before. Arsenal in open play goals in the Premier League are currently 17th ranked. So it means two things. The first thing is that they're very efficient on corners, free kicks,
Set pieces, yeah.
these set pieces situations. But in the opposite, they're more struggling than previous years to produce some great football and to score goals like this. We remember in the Champions League, for example, against PSG, that was what they lacked, what they missed to score goals and to be more efficient. So even if they are the favorites, I'm still doubting of them to perform like this until the end of the season if they do not correct this kind of situation. So we'll see. Guys, I'd like to end this podcast by talking a bit about the Champions League that happened this week and that is still doing. And in particular, our team's progress in this competition. First of all, Darren, Galatasaray won this week and has 6 points, right, in the table. On the screen we can see the schedule of Galatasaray. I want you to tell us what you predict for the upcoming matches and maybe your team potential ranking. What do you think?
So we had an unfortunate start to the Champions League season with a huge loss against Frankfurt, but I think we made a really good comeback with the Liverpool game, a huge win. And even in the Bodo Glimt game, I think offensively we were really, really good. And I should point out the best thing that Galatasaray does is high pressure. We do a really, really good constant pressure in the third area of the pitch, and we are using this in almost every European game. So when I look at the fixture, we're going to play Ajax in the next Champions League game. And Ajax are, I think, sitting with 0 points right now. I think they're the
Yeah.
last in the Champions League. So really, really bad start to the Champions League for them. But it's a team that we should never underestimate, I think, because the game is going to be played in Amsterdam in their stadium. And last year, we lost in Amsterdam against Ajax in the Europa League. So I'm expecting maybe a draw from this game. So one
Okay.
more point and we're going to be 7. Against San Gilo in our stadium, in home stadium, I think we're going to win that game if we don't have any surprising injuries or something else. I've seen San Gilo play this season. I don't think they're in a really, really good spot right now. They're not bad, but they're not very special. So I think we can win against them. Monaco away game is going to be really, really hard, I think. Because Monaco, I think they need very crucial points to continue their route in Champions League as well. And Atletico Madrid at home, maybe we can do a surprise here, depending on the performance of Atletico Madrid as well, because we sometimes perform really good in our home games. We beat Tottenham last season at home. This season we beat Liverpool. So maybe we can have another surprise against Atletico Madrid. And hopefully, when we come to the last game, we would be securing the top 24 spot, because if the last game against Manchester City becomes the deciding point whether we're going to continue the Champions League or not, I think that game is going to be very stressful because it's going to be played in Etihad in away. So it's almost impossible, if not really, really hard to win there or even secure 1 point there. So my hopes is that we can get 10 or maybe 11 points before the Manchester City game and secure the ticket for the top 24 spot and continue our run in the Champions League.
Yeah, we remember that previous season, last season, it took 11 points to qualify for the next rounds.
Yeah.
You already have 6 points. Maybe if you win 2 of the 5 games, it can be good. And as you said before, Man City, that can be great for Galatasaray. Before we move on to Real Madrid, Alex, you wanted to say something about the Galatasaray, maybe?
Yeah. You know, I actually watched some of the Galata games this season as well, and therein mentioned how the team is trying to put pressure on the opposition and trying to put intensity into the game, bro. So comparing it that, for example, to Romanian football, because there's always this conversation between the Western football and the Eastern football. We
Yeah.
are nowhere near that level, and that's like hands down to Okan Buruk, the coach. So you see, a Turkish team can perform in Europe with a Turkish manager. And
Yeah.
that's insane. I mean, in my opinion, that's very good, and it's deserved. It deserve all the applause. And I hope you guys will qualify, because for me, I mean, it's always great to see teams from this part of Europe competing against the richest teams in the world. So I
Yeah.
hope Galata can make it.
I hope so. And it's really nice to hear good things about Okan Buruk from a foreign view as well, not only from the Turkish media, because he's getting criticized a lot just because he's a Turkish coach. But I want to also support your statement. Turkish coaches are really, really good as well. They can perform really well too. And I like Okan Buruk and his play style as well.
Yeah.
All right, Jotis, same question. Real Madrid has won all of its matches so far, so 9 points on the table. What do you think will happen for them as the competition continues? We see the next fixtures right on the screen. Tell us what you think.
So I think so. The fact that we won the El Clasico, I think it's a big confidence boost for Real Madrid, this team, because after the disaster class against Atletico Madrid in the Madrid derby, that was a big morale down for the team. So this boost, this win, I think it's going to give a big boost to Real Madrid. And you know how Real Madrid is always steps up in Champions League. So I think the games are going to be not easy, but I think Real Madrid are in a good position to compete in at their best form for these games. And as we can see, it's not the easiest fixtures that are coming up. There's Manchester City, there's Liverpool, and even though they're not at their best at the moment, it all changes when it comes to big games. When it comes to big competition. So it's going to be a tough couple of matches. But I think this Real Madrid team has the confidence and the depth and the experience to get through these fixtures successfully.
Yeah, next game is at Anfield against Liverpool next week, I guess. It's going to be an interesting game because, like you said, Liverpool isn't at his highest form right now, and they need to feel more confident, especially also in the Champions League. So that will be the clash of this new week of Champions League. Do you think Real Madrid is the real favorite of this game, even if it's at Anfield, Jotis?
I think we are. I think we're still the favorites. In Champions League, in any game, no matter who the opponent is, I think Real Madrid is the favorite when it comes to a competition in the Champions League. So doesn't matter the venue, doesn't matter if it's Liverpool. So I think we're still the favorites.
Okay, yeah, we see Liverpool, then Olympiacos, so two away games for Real Madrid, then hosting Man City and Monaco, and finishing at Benfica. We'll see at this time because the game against Benfica is in 2026. If Jose Mourinho will still be the manager of this team, that could be interesting to see the meeting between Mourinho and Real Madrid once again. But yeah, I kind of agree with you. This result in the Clasico is a huge boost for the players, for the coach, for the staff. They already have 9 points, so they are in a good position. If they win at Anfield, then they might have the space to even make the team turn a bit. I don't know, maybe Gonzalo Garcia can play some minutes. Maybe some players will have time to play because they will have the the security to qualify at least for the round of 32. I don't know how to call it, the first round, and if possible to qualify directly for the round of 16. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see this upcoming game. There, Alex, we'll have a look at Barcelona's schedule. I have the same question for you. What's your take on these upcoming matches that we're seeing right now?
Even though we lost against PSG, I think Barcelona can make it to the top 8 and qualify. I mean, looking at these games, the most difficult one is the one against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And I think we should definitely win that game because it will give players the morale, even though Chelsea are not the team that they used to be in the past, the world champions, as Jotis likes to call them. They are still a big name, and winning away at a top European side is always a great morale boost. So I don't think Barcelona will have problems to qualify directly to the round of 16 to make it to the top 8. Let's see what happens in the second part of the season. Barcelona had a bad run of results last year. Actually, if you can remember, they only won one La Liga game since the start of November towards the end of the year. Only one win in the league. And that almost costed them the title. And this year, it seems to be happening sooner. And Flick managed to fix the problem last season. I hope he can do the same this season. Otherwise, I will commit suicide or something.
Then that's an interesting subject because last season Barcelona was, I think, with PSG the best team in Europe. They were close to go to the final and maybe win the trophy. I think all of the football fans before the season were placing Barcelona in the top 2, top 3 favorites to win the trophy. Right now, of course, it's a more difficult, more complex situation for Barcelona. But Alex, do you feel confident for the Champions League? Do you think Barcelona is still one of the top favorites for the title?
My heart says yes. My brain says no. Yeah. I've said
Yeah.
enough.
Brain knows good ball knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see. To be honest, to be with you, I still think that Barcelona can be one of the favorite. I
Yeah,
just
okay.
think that they have to regain a bit of boost, a bit of something to make a comparison with the Clasico yesterday. From what I said before the podcast, they were one team that was hungry to win this Clasico, that was Real Madrid, and another team that seemed to be not so involved in the game. And I
Yeah.
think that's a mental problem. You can add also the injuries of Lewandowski, Rafinha, also that can cost. We had a lot of talks about Barcelona, but I still think that with the Hansi Flick type of managing and the players they have, they can be the favorite for this competition. They just need to, I don't know, to feel more confident and to maybe work on that moral mental aspect that can help us. We will finish this sequence with PSG. I'm going to talk a bit about my European champions team. They are currently leading this phase of the league with 3 wins, 2, including this 7-2 victory over Bayer Leverkusen that week. This game was insane. That was crazy, to be honest. I think PSG's upcoming matches are all quite challenging. We can see them right now. So Bayern Munich, Tottenham, Bilbao, Sporting, and Newcastle to finish. But I think that schedule is a good thing for the team because they need to face top level teams right from the start in order to be prepared for the rest of the competition. You know that in French league, you don't have a lot of big teams that can compete with PSG, and that kind of games at the start of the season in the Champions League are good preparations. The match I'm most looking forward to is, of course, next week's clash against Bayern Munich. For me, they are the best team in Europe alongside PSG at the start of the season, and I can't wait to see how these two teams will handle this match. And looking ahead, I think playing Tottenham and Newcastle at home is a real advantage for PSG, and I hope they will continue to dominate their matches until the end to secure, I hope to secure first or second place, because it's really important this season to remember that in this new edition of Champions League, the top two teams in the league phase will have the advantage to host the second leg at home of each final phase. So that's a real advantage. And if PSG can place themselves at the top of this league phase, that can be great. So yeah, overall, it's a very positive conclusion. I'm really excited to ahead of these matches, especially the one against Bayern Munich. If we can win against Bayern Munich, we'll have 4 wins in 4 games. And as we said about Real Madrid, it will be more light for PSG. Even if we have injuries, even if we have young players, it will be a more securing position for us. So yeah, I can't wait to see that. I just want you guys ask you a last question before we end this podcast. When you see Bayern, when you see Real Madrid, when you see PSG, when you see Inter Milan, all those teams have won all their matches in the competition. Do you think that means that they are the 4 best teams in Europe? Or do you think that it's just a matter of who you're gonna play? For you, how this league phase is impacting the rest of the season?
I mean, I think, of course, it's a good specification that shows that they are in a good form right now, but I don't think it's an indication that they are the best teams in the Europe right now, because let me tell you, not even the fixture, even the way that a player wakes up during the match day affects his performance that night, I think. There are tons of factors that affects the game. I mean, for example, in the first week, I'm going to give an example from Galatasaray. In the first week, we lost 5-1 against Frankfurt. And then in the next 2 games, Frankfurt lost their games 5-1 in both their games. So football is a really interesting game of moments, what I would like to call, because each moment is really, really important and lots of things can happen. So I don't think it's an indication that they are the 4 best teams in the world right now.
Yeah, and I also think like the best example to showcase this answer is how Liverpool and PSG finished last year's league phase. You know, Liverpool finished first with an almost 100% record. I think they only had 1 loss. They had like 7 wins
Yeah,
and
the
1
last
loss,
game.
I think. And PSG barely made it to the playoffs. And we all know how the Champions League season ended for those teams. They faced off against each other. Liverpool lost, and PSG went on to win the trophy. So the league ranking is not a factor that determines that states which team is the best in Europe, but it's something. And I like the new format. I actually like it. It makes the competition more spicy, but it definitely doesn't tell, at least in the league phase, who the best player is. That is always determined in the knockout stages.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll have the occasion to talk about the upcoming fixtures. So big fixtures for the Champions League. We're going to talk about this, of course, next Monday. Guys, we've now come to the end of this 7th podcast of 4 Lads 1 Red Card. Thank you all for listening us on Spotify or watching us on YouTube. Please, once again, don't forget to follow us on social media, Instagram. Thank you for the support, and we'll be there next week, same time. Guys, Alex, Darren, Jotis, thank you very much.
Thank you as well.
Thank you,
You,
Jules.
Niels.
See you
Thank you,
next
guys,
week.
and see you next week, everyone. Bye-bye.